There it is, Orlando Premium Outlets, and it is closed like everything else in the world, on the globe, or the flat plane, depending on how you view the earth. But yeah, there it is. Character Warehouse is normally in there, Vineland location. It's closed. You can see how they've got the stanchions or the barricades up, blocking the entrances. And this is what Orlando kind of just looks like right now. It's crazy. And I'm sure this is what it looks like essentially in every city around the world and around the country. But one thing that's a little different, I think, with Orlando is the, it's the tourist capital of the world. It's, it's Orlando, but it's Paris, Las Vegas, New York. And I'm assuming this is what most places look like. There's nobody here. No tourists. Tourists are gone. All the tourists have gone home. But I'll just let this video run. If you're just curious what it looks like around Orlando, this gives you an idea. I had to make an emergency run over to someone's house to drop off an important piece of equipment, and we did it through social distancing, where I drove to the person's house, took the piece of equipment out of the trunk of my vehicle, set it in the parking lot. I then left, and then they came outside and put the piece of equipment in their vehicle. So here we go. Normally, if you guys are familiar with this area, this road would be jammed, especially on a Saturday. It would be so packed. You have to come up here to make the right turn. If you're not familiar with where we are, we're very, very close to Disney Springs. And I think I'll actually, just for the sake of this video, I'm gonna cut through Disney property. I'm not gonna go near anything that's closed. It's not that type of thing. I'm just gonna cut through Disney property and let you guys see what Disney property looks like right now in this lockdown or quarantine or whatever you want to call it in this pandemic. It's kind of interesting. It's creepy. Brings a lot of questions to mind. Makes me wonder what's gonna happen, what it's gonna be like. Let's just stop here. But if you're familiar with this area, you know how congested this area, especially when you're hopping onto I-4 West. Now, where I live, which is out like west of Disney, a few miles west, 5-6 miles west of Disney, there's two ways to get there. One way would be I-4, of course, which a lot of people avoid for good reason, because it's super, super, super congested and crazy. Or you can actually kind of cut through Disney property, which historically was a little bit faster, but now that they're building that all new shopping center down on Western Way, if you're not familiar, they're building that new Target down there. It's going to be on Disney property, I guess. It's going to be interesting. I have a feeling that Western Way is going to be so congested going forward. But anyway, we're going to enter Disney Springs from this little side entrance. Or not enter Disney Springs, we're just going to enter the area of Disney Springs. This is where a lot of the Disney Springs hotels are, the Good Neighbor hotels or partner hotels. Hilton, the B Resort, all those. So we're getting ready to hit in there now. Hold on to the phone. Alright, here we go. Now we are on to Disney property. And there may be some cars that are kind of doing the same thing we're doing, that are cutting through. And I think for a tourist, you may not be familiar, but there are people that use the roads on Disney property to get to their neighborhoods. And we're one of those. So this is how I go to and from if I need to go like over to the SeaWorld area or Universal or something. A lot of times I will cut through Disney property to get there. So this should be the B Resort here. Yeah, that's the B Resort. And we just continue along. Just showing you guys something here. So if you're at home, you're curious what the Disney property looks like right now, being shut down, something that's obviously never happened before. Maybe I guess technically 9/11, but didn't close the resorts. But if you want to see what it actually looks like, this is what it all looks like. me and Susanna, we're doing a very, very, very good job of our social distancing. We are staying home. We are not going out. Like I said, this is just basically an emergency run. I had to go get a piece of equipment over to a friend, and we did it very safely. We didn't come in contact with each other. I'm actually even carrying, and this is an idea for some of you guys, if you haven't thought about this, if you're having trouble finding hand sanitizer. I carry in the trunk of my car hand soap, like liquid hand soap. You could use bar or whatever, but I carry soap and a used gallon of water. I keep refilling it. It's like a big plastic gallon jug, and I just pop the trunk, soap up the hands with some soap and water, and I wash my hands right there in the car. So heck, even if you have hand cleaner and you want to preserve some of your sanitizer, you don't want to waste all your sanitizer every time, bring soap and water and wash your hands right there in the parking lots or whatever. I think they keep saying, nothing beats actual hand washing, so that's what we're doing. But anyway, there you go. There's Disney Springs. Kind of, you can see outside the cars Planet Hollywood. And this is Orange Garage. Nobody's here. Just closed piece of property. And I'm just going to keep on going all the way down Buena Vista Drive, heading on over towards Western Way to head towards my home. This is about as quiet as you're ever gonna see Buena Vista Drive by Disney Springs. Anywhere, it's crazy. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's actually a gorgeous day. Beautiful weather here in Orlando. Gorgeous, gorgeous weather. They keep, one of the things that they've been wondering is when the weather warms up, would it stop the spread or slow the spread of coronavirus? Unfortunately, I mean, if Florida is the test market for that, it doesn't look like it because our numbers keep climbing. Orange County, Osceola County, Polk County, Lake County, all these counties around here, in Central Florida. Of course, Miami, Miami has, I think, 40% of all of the coronavirus cases in the state. And that just could be because they're just doing a lot of testing. There's Typhoon Lagoon, if you're curious. But yeah, Miami has 40% of the state cases, what I saw this morning. But the numbers keep jumping up. So if we were hoping that warm weather would slow the spread, it hasn't started to yet. It's been warm here in Florida now for about the last 3 weeks. So I don't know. That may not be, like right now my car says it's 86 degrees outside. It's sunshine. Old Key West Resort. Kind of see it through the trees. But yep, Disney is closed. Like everywhere else, it's totally closed. Now my question is, I really do think like here in the next within the next week or two, because of this continuing spread and just the seriousness of this situation, I got a feeling that Florida is on its way to a New York, California, or Illinois style lockdown, mandatory, essentially lockdown, like what they're doing there. I think it's coming here. I think it's coming to a lot of places. So, if you don't have if it's not an emergency, if you're not going to a grocery store, a hospital, or any other medical type of thing or essential thing, in places like New York, LA, or California, and Illinois, you're supposed to be inside. So now Orange County and Osceola County have a curfew. They started that, 2 nights ago, I think. So their curfew is 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. They're under curfew. So anyway, continuing on, heading on down. Bonnet Creek Resort is down this way. Oh, red light. You actually start to see a little bit of Epcot through the trees, World Showcase through the trees. There's Bonnet Creek Resort. Of course, it's closed. Everything's closed. But yeah, Epcot World Showcase is through those trees on that side. You can actually see it a little bit because the trees are kind of still bare. We'll be coming up to the Skyliner here in a minute. And those gondolas are, I don't know if they're detached from the wires, but they're definitely not hanging. So they've definitely parked the cable car somewhere in the cars. Gondolas, whatever the correct term is for them. They're definitely parked somewhere. So just continuing on down. Riviera's over here on the left. I'll let you guys take a look at a closed Riviera. There's the Riviera Resort. Yeah, and the big thing is, you know, just the financial loss, not, I mean, just to the Disney company, but just to everybody. Obviously, this is a Disney channel. We talk a lot of Disney, but just the financial loss to Disney. It's just amazing. There's a Skyliner above us. My tent is blocking it, but you can see the Skyliner. No cars, nothing's moving, no cable. Obviously, those gondolas are sitting somewhere. Skyliner off to the right. This is the portion that it's had more of the start-stop issues, where it cuts over to Epcot, where it goes over to International Gateway. And out there in the distance is Swan and Dolphin. Speedway, gas is under $1.98 a gallon. That's that's good, but it means something bad. It means that the economy is trash, so gas prices are going to be cheap when the economy's not good. Hollywood Studios off to our left. Switch track, or whatever you want to call it, for the Skyliner going out towards the boardwalk and off to International Gateway. Swan and Dolphin. No cars, essentially no traffic. One thing I started thinking, interesting to think about, I'll let y'all look at Swan and Dolphin while I'm talking, is if Florida was to do the full-on lockdowns, essentially what's going on in California, Illinois, and New York, will Disney be able to still have groundskeepers maintaining their grounds? Like, one thing I always think about with Disney is how the grounds, and Disney's famous for how well they maintain their grounds and their roadways and everything. But if they had to go into a full-on lockdown, I would assume that would mean they couldn't have groundskeepers out here maintaining. And how long that would go on for, who knows? But wouldn't it be interesting would Disney actually start to overgrow a little bit? Like, if you guys aren't familiar, Central Florida is essentially a jungle. Disney's built in a jungle, so things here grow very, very, very fast. The wildlife, the plant life, it all comes in pretty quick. So, but anyway, coming up on Coronado Springs. Coronado will be off to our right. Here's Coronado Springs. Grand Destino Tower. Super, super cool. If you haven't had a chance to check that out yet, it's awesome. Highly recommend it. I'm going to make a turn here onto Western Way, which essentially takes me back to my neighborhood, or in the direction of my neighborhood. It's a way to cut over to like Davenport. A lot of people are familiar with Davenport, so a lot of y'all probably have, if you do like Airbnbs or vacation home rentals when you come to Orlando, there's Disney, there's a good chance you've probably stayed in Davenport area, and that's where we are. So there's Coronado off to the side. Keep on going. Filming this on the cell phone. I haven't filmed a video on my iPhone in so long. Normally I use my cameras, but today I said, you know what, I'm in the car. I wasn't even planning on doing this, but I said there's a lot of people I'm sure that are curious what it looks like down here right now, or you're just at the home bored and you just want to see, oh, let's see what the Disney area looks like right now, why it's closed. So this gives you an idea. I told my wife, I said, essentially Disney now looks like where I came from, like Richmond, Virginia. It's very, it's a city that's not overly populated. It's just kind of quiet. You can actually enjoy driving again. Since I've lived in Orlando, I've learned to hate driving. And I used to love to drive, but because of the constant traffic, and no offense, but the tourists, and look, I was a tourist for years, and I still kind of am a tourist. I still don't know a lot about where I live. I'm still new here, but so having the roadways tourist-free, it's, in that one thing, I guess that's nice, but obviously that's not nice for the economy and for, the pain and suffering that we're all going through all over the earth. Everyone's going through some type of pain and suffering, so, but anyway. Just keep on going down Western Way. As we go down, you'll see that development area for the new Target and so forth. These guys look like they're broken down on the side of the road. Oof. I carry my mask and a pair of rubber gloves in the car with me. God forbid, just in case if that were to happen, you have to call a tow truck or something, and I might as well mention this video. I don't know, I'm just rambling while I'm driving, so if you don't have a mask, a little secret that I kind of come across is, if you want to home make yourself a mask, a lot of people are trying to do it with cotton some type of fabric or something like that, which is fine. Maybe that gets you kind of something similar to what would be like a surgical mask. But if you're looking for something that's actually like a true filter, my recommendation is, because they're probably going to start disappearing off the shelves fast, so if you want to get them while you can, I'll just say go to like Walmart or Lowe's or Home Depot. If you can find them, get yourself made by 3M, a 3M AC filter, the big ones like what you put in your central air units, and you can actually take that material out. There's a couple videos on YouTube of people showing how to do it, and so you can search YouTube and find a video of it, but you use that material as the filter. You make your mask out of that filter, and it kind of replicates a little bit of the much sought after N95 respirators that our doctors and nurses and healthcare people need so bad. But if you want to try to home make yourself one, that would be my idea. I'm not a scientist, but apparently other people have thought of doing that too. If you're trying to look for a little extra protection, maybe you get yourself an AC filter and cut it up. All right, this should be this is the construction. Here we go. This is that all new development going on. I'll let you guys see that in case there's a good chance you haven't been back here. Unless you had a rental car or something, you would never come through here, so. Disney has a lot of projects going on. They, I'm sure, did not foresee, like anybody else, what was going to be going on. I'm sure if they knew they were going to be globally shut down indefinitely, these projects probably would not have been greenlit. A lot of projects. Heck, you could even take them maybe all the way to Galaxy's Edge, redoing Epcot, Future World, so forth. And, Disney is going to have to figure something out like the rest of us. Budget cuts. Everyone has to make budget cuts right now. So it's about survival, I guess, at this point. Economic survival. And physical survival, but economically too. So, alrighty. Well, I'm almost off of Disney property. I guess I'll let the video run so you can see where it ends. Where Western Way kind of comes out. Alright, I'm going to stop the video, guys. And I'm not sure when I'm going to upload this, but either way, you'll get to see it. I'm not editing this video. This is just a raw cell phone video, something I don't normally do. So you get to see what a video looks like sometimes where it's not edited. So, alright, guys, take care, be safe, have a good one, and we'll see you next time. Bye.